by Donald. This happened when I was staying over at a friend's apartment. We'll call him Evan. We were both 19 at the time and were working part-time for a poster developing company. We were working from home, so we thought it would be better if we stayed at Evan's place, as being in the same place together we can come up with more creative ideas and innovations faster. We both got home from college and I had already called my mom that I would be staying at Evan's place, so that was taken care of. Evan stayed alone in a rented apartment. It was a 3-storied building and Evan had rented a 3-room flat in the 2nd story. It had 1 bedroom, 1 living room, a kitchen and a bathroom, of course. It was about 8 when we decided to have dinner after we were done with our work. It was only then when I started hearing noises from the apartment. The occasional creaking of floorboards or the occasional sounds of critters maybe, or sounded like small rodents running around the wooded floor. My head was twisting and turning all over the place, but I couldn't see anything. I was puzzled. Evan didn't pay any attention to the sounds, however. I asked him if he could hear the noises and all he said was, "Oh, you hear them? No need to pay attention to the noises. It's quite normal here. I'm used to it," he said. I asked him again about the noises and what they were actually. He replied, "It's just a building. It's old, so you can understand." I was not satisfied with his reply, but I soon forgot about him. After dinner, we were just sitting in the living room and watching funny YouTube videos. The next day was a Saturday, so no classes. We could stay up the whole night. Well, that's what we were planning, but at around 11:30, we were both drowsy and both decided to head to bed. Evan took out an extra folding bed for me to sleep in, and it was very comfortable. Evan switched off the lights, but lights from the street lamps outside still emanated into his bedroom, so it wasn't completely dark. This was fine by me. As I was just about to shut my eyes, I heard the same noises again. I looked around his bedroom and everything was still. His bedroom had no door, so you could kind of see the kitchen from where I was sleeping, a direct view of his refrigerator. I tried to shut my eyes again, but the noises irritated me. It sounded like a mouse running around, scratching the floor. I turned to my side to open the torch from my phone. As I was just about to turn back to the direction of the kitchen, I suddenly see this pair of hands right in front of me and were slowly moving towards me. There was no body attached to the hands and they were positioned in a way as if they were about to choke me. I was terrified and shocked. I quickly covered my face with my hands and rolled to my side, which made me fall down to the floor. The impact of me falling created a huge thud which awoken Evan. He switched on the light and asked me what was the matter, and I could only mumble inaudible words. I was too terrified. He came down and patted my back, comforting me. After about 5 minutes, I was able to speak but also catching my breath at the same time. I told him about the pair of hands, to which he interrupted and said, "I told you not to pay any attention to the noises, because if you search for the source of the noises, those kind of things happen." Apparently, Evan had experienced the same thing when he first moved in. He witnessed the same pair of hands that were about to choke him. He was so used to this that he stopped paying attention to the noises. He told me that he later discovered that the previous owner of the apartment hanged himself in the kitchen. I couldn't sleep that night. When the clock hit 4 a.m., I was out of there. I didn't mind walking the long distance home. I was angry at Evan for not telling me about the apartment. All he said was, "You wouldn't believe me even if I told you." I guess he had a point. Something Sinister by Van. This happened back when I was a child, at an army quarter, courtesy of my late father, who was the commandant of a battalion of troops. Our residence was an old building built sometime during the 1950s. An old 2-story structure of 4x4, meaning other families stayed in the same building, 2 on each side. The layout being the same for one side and mirror duplicates for the other 2, each separated by a huge balcony at the top and garage at the bottom. The house was quite huge, with a master bedroom and 2 extra bedrooms, 2 baths, 2 toilets, 2 living rooms, a drawing room, a dining with a separate kitchen area. Enough with the details. It was during our stay at the residence that we had witnessed several occurrences. Each of the 4 main rooms had chimneys in them. The army would supply us with coal in order to better compensate with the harsh winters of the region. The first of the occurrence via these chimneys, as we'd hear slight whispers coming through them, but not audible enough to make out what was being said. My parents made nothing of it at first, saying it was merely the other family who resided below us, as their chimneys ran along our walls to the roof. However, their speculation would soon change. As the family were out on vacation during the holidays and the whispers still persisted, as my parents were devout Christians, they'd say otherwise. Soon enough the whispers started to fade out and we no longer paid any heed to them. However, the house seemed to have other sinister plans. We started witnessing other occurrences and happenings. The house had a tin roof with tile ceilings for insulation. We'd started hearing noises yet again, but now coming from the ceiling above the room shared by me and my sister. The noises were often subtle, sounding almost like sacks being pulled across the surface or someone crawling. As there was no way to investigate due to the lack of openings, we'd assume it to be birds who happened to have found refuge and built nests along the roofs, or mice just stealing their eggs. Far-fetched, but better than thinking otherwise. However, our theory was soon shoved off when a repair crew was summoned to fix the roof because of leaks over certain parts. Me and my sister would often climb up to the roof via a maintenance ladder for the panoramic view, unbest known to our parents, of course. Out of curiosity, we did the same during the repairs. This time, however, we were accompanied by Mom and our cousin along with our orderlies. With the tin roof being removed, everyone seemed baffled as there was hardly any traces of an infestation, let alone drag marks, except for a little piece of what seemed like a small blanket. Little did we know, from then on we would experience extreme paranormal activities. But these stories, let's leave them for another day.